Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Catholic Call Podcast. As always, I have my amazing guest, Deacon Steven. At this point, he's not a guest; he's the co-host or the host. I don't know. We don't know anymore. Welcome back. I hope you're having a great summer. This is probably going to come out during summer, so hopefully you're having a great summer. We're having a great summer so far. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, it's all, life is busy, but it's a slower busy. It's a restful
Yep.
time to reset. It's hot, though. It's really hot.
So, drink water and be careful outside. But, so today we still have a question from DYC 2024 that we'd like to answer. So the first one was...
Why did Eve really eat the apple?
Why did Eve eat the apple?
Good question. I don't know that anyone knows. But I mean, so I think a lot, so the first question is that nobody knows. And I mean, there's so much that could go into that story. But I guess, to a certain extent, my question would be, why do you do anything that's wrong? Why do you do anything that's wrong? Because a lot of people like to really hate on Adam and Eve. Like, oh, they wrecked all of our lives. If only they hadn't done that thing, everything would have been perfect forever. And who knows what would have happened if they hadn't eaten the apple? Would other humans have not? We don't know how the story would have turned out differently. But I guess my question is why do you? If you want the answer to that question, my question to you would be, why does anybody do anything that they know is wrong? There's so many things you are. One of the things we believe about that story is that it is the story of every sin. It follows the way that every sin works is how that starts. It starts with this relationship that is in good working order, where there's trust and friendship, and then it falls apart, and it falls apart because of a lack of trust. The serpent tells Eve, you can't really trust God. He doesn't really have your best interest at heart. You can't really believe anything he's saying. It starts by trying to get her to doubt that, he's not generous, because notice the first thing the snake said is so God said you couldn't eat any of the trees, which is not what God said, and he's being super unreasonable. And then when she says, no, that's not what he said, and he's he only did it because he's protecting himself, he's using you, he's manipulating you, and that trust falls apart. So it's when Eve decides she can't trust God, and she wants to worry about herself more. And so, which is why all of us do anything wrong all the time. Why do you do something that's wrong? Why do you choose to hurt someone knowing it will hurt them? And the answer is you decide that what you want is less important than the relationship. Or you're lied to, or you start to doubt certain things. So, I don't know the answer to that question. But I think that if you wanted to start to explore the layers of that very deep question, ask yourself a time when you hurt someone and you knew it would hurt them and you did it anyway, and then it did hurt them. Why did you do it? Why did you do it? And then express that frustration you have with yourself. That, I think, could be the frustration that we have, or the answer to the question of what made you do it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's mostly what you said. It's probably as we all do sometime in our life, we think that we can take care of ourselves and we know ourselves better than God does. And that leads to acting selfishly, because God only wants what's best for us, and he knows best because he made us. He's literally our creator. He knows everything about us more than we do. And the fact that we want to take care of our God-given body and soul by ourselves, by earthly means, is not going to fulfill our heavenly desires and heavenly purpose, because we're finite and we need an infinite purpose and an infinite thing that we can't reach. And if we want to take this for ourselves, and if we want to satisfy this ourselves with earthly things, it's not going to be enough, and we're not going to find it, because the only one that can do this is God. So Eve thought that she was, that's just a thought process going from what you said. Eve thought that it was better for her to take care of herself and do whatever she thought would be best for her, and then took the apple, even if God said that's not good for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, the story of the first sin is look out for number one. You know, the serpent says, like, Eve, he's lying to you. If you want to get ahead, you gotta take care of yourself. And I think that if we look at both like what leads up to it and the fallout, it's all about the broken relationship. It's not just about this arbitrary rule. It's about like, can you be trusted and can you worry about someone else? Because the fallout of the first sin is that Eve's relationship with Adam is broken, with God is broken, with the natural world is broken, and then also with herself, because now she feels fear and shame and guilt. So all these relationships are broken. And it's because of that, putting oneself in front of all of these relationships. And I guess the other thing is say what caused, if we want to give due guilt to Adam, because Eve also gets, I feel like, sometimes a very unfair share of the burden. The other reason why Eve made this bad decision is because she was alone. Because Adam and Eve were supposed to be partners and co-workers and helpers. And while Eve is having this conversation with the serpent, while she's being manipulated, while she's being lied to, where is her helper? And where is her partner? Not there. Or he is there, and he's not doing anything. He is a bystander, and he's watching this happen. Because when Eve eats the fruit, she doesn't have to go find Adam. She immediately hands it to him. He is close by, and he's just letting this happen. So the serpent picks off Eve because she's alone, or she's at least alone in the sense that her partner and her helper is not holding accountable, is not coming to her aid, is not speaking truth against the serpent's lies. So a lot of times when you are alone and you're weak and you're doubting and you don't find your friend and you don't find your mentors and you don't turn to God and you just grapple with that on your own, you're weak when you're alone and you make bad decisions and the fear and the doubt, it reigns and you don't have another voice speaking to you. So why did Eve fall? Partially because the person who was supposed to speak truth to her in that moment didn't do it.
Yeah. And I mean, to bounce off one of the things you said about the broken relationships, like often we ask, like in today's society, we often hear like, take care of yourself, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Like, oh, do this, go do that, take care of yourself, take time for yourself. And afterwards we ask, like, in our lives, why our relationships are not working, and why is this not working? Why can't I have, like, some people are like, oh, well, I'm not, like, I don't have good friends, or I'm not surrounded by good people, or, like, my relationships are not working. And, well, that's exactly the reason why they're not working. You just said it. Because, not by choosing yourself, you choose to have, like, to break other relationships. You choose to cut yourself off from other things. When you cut yourself from God, when you cut yourself from others, to think of yourself like Adam and Eve did. And then afterward you feel ashamed, and then you feel bad with yourself, you feel bad for others, and then, like, all of this thing just goes down and down and down, just a big circle. So, like, yeah, like, don't.
Yeah, and I mean, to a certain extent, there's nothing certainly wrong with this healthy idea of, like, you should take care of yourself and you're a
It's all a
beloved child of God
balance.
too. But to consistently always choose yourself, there is such a difference. Like, so Jesus is the most fully integrated person with the healthiest sense of self and relationships. And what did he say about himself? I came not to be served, but to serve. Like, I came to serve first, and he puts everyone consistently above himself. And that is his whole mission. And he's no less alive for it. He's far more alive because of that. And so think, the motto of Jesus was, I came to serve and give my life as a ransom for many, versus the, like, treat yourself, like, you're worth it, always pick you, and if these people are a problem, like, they're just always toxic, and cut them off. Which, again, it's not that that's never the answer, but when you consistently, as a rule, put yourself first, you are going to find that you're not investing in the other people, and that they feel it and they sense it, and
That's not good for you, that's not good for them.
And it falls apart. have. When you choose yourself always, you're actually not choosing yourself because you were made for community.
Exactly. Yeah. God said that man shouldn't be alone.
Yeah. The first thing that's not good. The first thing, if you go back and read in this creation story, God says everything is good. The light's good, the trees are good. Then when he makes human beings to cap creation, it's very good. The first thing in the Bible that's not good, it's not sin, it's not even disobedience. It is not good that a human should be alone.
Yep. Yeah, so
there you go. There's probably more thoughts on that, but again, without
Just-
knowing the mind, the divine mind, that's the best I can offer on a brief moment
Simple.
without a far deeper level of holiness than I'm currently attaining. So,
or more research. You can do that on your own. It's just to start the thinking process. But if you like us answering questions like that, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, but most importantly, submitting questions so we can keep up with you, keep answering your questions, and keep the conversation going.
thanks
So
for your question.
yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next episode.